Let me tell you something you need to hear right now. It's not about what you wish were happening. It's about what you're willing to work for. You see, dreams don't demand your attention. Your actions do. And if you're settling for less than your potential, you're doing dishonor to the life you're capable of building. Hear a deep breath, then roar with conviction. Every maybe someday is just a disguised excuse. Every not yet whispers opportunity. You just need to make the call. You can sit around and dream all you want. You can visualize the perfect life, the perfect career, the perfect body, the perfect relationship. But listen, without action, those dreams rot. They stay in your head, safe and comfortable, while your reality starves. And the truth is, life does not reward intention alone. It rewards execution. The people you look up to, the ones who made it happen, didn't do it by hoping harder. They moved, they acted. They pushed forward even when it was messy, even when it was uncertain, even when they had no idea if it would work. That's the difference. Passive dreaming feels good. It keeps you in a bubble where nothing can hurt you. But massive, determined action, that changes the entire trajectory of your life. Because the moment you move, really move, you tap into the raw power of belief. Belief isn't some fluffy feel, good mantra you repeat in front of a mirror. Belief is the decision deep down in your bones that no matter what happens, you will find a way. Think about it. Every breakthrough in your life has come because you finally stopped waiting for the perfect time. You decided, you acted, and even if you stumbled, you adjusted, you learned, you grew. That is belief in motion. Belief by itself is only potential energy. It's a spark. Action is the fuel that turns it into fire. And when you combine the two, you become unstoppable. Here's the secret. Belief grows when you prove to yourself, through relentless effort, that you can handle more than you thought you could. Every time you take one more step, every time you push past your old limit, your brain rewires. Suddenly, what looked impossible starts to feel inevitable. That's not because the world got easier. It's because you got stronger. You built proof in your nervous system that you are capable of more. Most people are waiting for certainty. They want a guarantee before they move, but certainty doesn't come before action. It's created by action. You'll never believe fully until you act, and you'll never act fully until you believe. That's the paradox, and the only way out is to leap, to move, to commit with everything you have. Massive, determined action is messy. It will stretch you, it will break you open, it will test every excuse you've been clinging to. But on the other side of that resistance is the life you've been dreaming about. The power of belief isn't about sitting quietly and convincing yourself. It's about standing up, putting one foot in front of the other, and refusing to stop. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop replaying the same tired story in your head. Decide today that your dreams are not negotiable. Decide today that belief and action will walk hand in hand. And then prove it. By moving, by grinding, by showing up again and again until the life you imagined is the life you're living, there comes a moment in your life when should is no longer enough. I should eat better. I should work harder. I should start that business. Let me tell you, should is weak. Should is passive. Should keeps you trapped in a loop of intention without transformation. Nothing changes until should becomes must. When you decide that there is no way back, no negotiation, no escape hatch, that's when belief turns into power. Belief is not just sitting around hoping things will get better. Belief is forged in the fire of decision. It's the moment you stop entertaining excuses and start demanding more of yourself. It's not about raising your voice, it's about raising your standards. Because the truth is, you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are willing to tolerate, and if you tolerate low energy, half effort, broken promises to yourself, you will live at that level. But the second you decide, I will never accept less than this, the game changes. Think about times in your life when you really made a shift. Maybe you quit a toxic relationship. Maybe you turned your health around. Maybe you broke a cycle that had held you down for years. It didn't happen because it was convenient. It didn't happen because you said, I should probably do something about this. It happened because something inside of you snapped. You drew a line in the sand. You said, enough, never again, this stops now. That moment wasn't fueled by chance. It was fueled by belief. Belief that you deserved more. Belief that you could demand more. Belief that you would rise to the standard you set. Raising your standards is not about perfection. It's about refusing to settle. When you say, I must, your brain reorganizes itself. Your body finds strength it didn't know it had. Your creativity comes alive. You begin to tap into resources that were always inside you, waiting to be activated by decision. That's the power of belief. It doesn't wait for conditions to be ideal. It creates new conditions because your standard has shifted. And here's the reality. Life will test you. The moment you raise your standards, obstacles will appear. Challenges will rise up. But that's not proof you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're on the right one. Belief grows when you prove to yourself that you can stand tall even when it's hard. When you act in alignment with your new standard, day after day, belief becomes unshakable. So let me ask you, where in your life are you still living in should? Where are you lowering the bar, excusing the gap between your potential and your action? Stop pretending that should is going to carry you. Step up. Make it a must. Burn the bridges. Lock in the standard that matches who you truly are. Because when you demand more from yourself, when you raise your standards and back them with belief, the impossible stops being impossible. It becomes inevitable. The greatest investment you will ever make is not in a business, not in a stock, not even in a career. It's in yourself, because the truth is you are the foundation of everything in your life. If you want more success, more freedom, more impact, it starts with you. You must work harder on yourself than on anything else. Most people chase results. They chase the money, the promotion, the recognition. But here's the problem. If you get more than you've prepared yourself for, you'll lose it just as fast. Success will always shrink back to the level of your personal growth. That's why some people win the lottery and end up broke in 5 years. Because their circumstances grew, but they didn't. When you grow, when you strengthen who you are, when you sharpen your skills, expand your mind, and harden your resilience, then nothing can take that away from you. Belief is the spark, but growth is the fuel. You can tell yourself you believe in your dreams all day long, but if you're not working on yourself, belief has no legs to stand on. The only way belief becomes power is when you align it with action. When you feed your mind, push your body, elevate your standards, and practice mastery. Growth is what turns belief from a nice thought into an unshakable reality. Every single day you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no neutral. The question is, what are you feeding yourself? What are you training yourself to become? If you spend your time scrolling, comparing, complaining, you're training weakness. If you spend your time reading, practicing, building, learning, you're training strength. You are programming who you are with every choice, every day, and that identity you build is what shapes your destiny. When you work harder on yourself, you gain a confidence that no one can give you and no one can take away. Because it's not built on external approval, it's built on internal proof. You've shown yourself that you can rise, that you can stretch, that you can adapt. That's the power of belief. It grows as you grow. Every new skill you master, every challenge you overcome, every fear you conquer adds to the evidence that you are capable of more. And don't misunderstand, this isn't about selfishness. When you grow, you give more. When you expand, you contribute more. When you elevate yourself, everyone around you rises too. You can't pour into others if your own cup is empty. You can't lead others if you're stagnant yourself. Working harder on yourself is the ultimate act of service because you become the kind of person who can create lasting impact. So don't wait for the world to hand you opportunities. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Become the person who can create them. Build yourself into someone who is unstoppable. Commit to growing every day, because when you work harder on yourself than on anything else, you'll discover a truth that changes everything. The world doesn't shape your destiny, you do. Perfection is a trap. It's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid moving forward. We wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect conditions, but perfection doesn't exist. And while you're sitting still, waiting for flawless, someone else is out there taking imperfect action and building momentum. Consistency will always beat perfection because consistency creates progress and progress builds belief. Think about it. Every great achievement in history wasn't born out of perfection. It was born out of relentless, daily action. A few steps taken every single day will take you farther than the giant leap you never attempt. Belief is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It's built through repetition, through the discipline of showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you follow through, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Consistency is the foundation of confidence. You don't trust yourself because you set perfect goals. You trust yourself because you keep promises to yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, even in small ways, you strengthen your identity. You start to believe, I am someone who follows through. I am someone who finishes. I am someone who grows. That's the power of belief. It compounds. And consistency is the mechanism that compounds it. The truth is, perfection is fragile. The moment life throws you a curveball, perfection shatters, but consistency is resilient. Consistency adapts. Consistency says, even if I stumble, even if I miss a step, I'll get back up and keep moving. That's where transformation happens, not in flawless execution, but in relentless persistence. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something. Every day, one more rep, one more call, one more page, one more hour. Those little wins accumulate. They build momentum, and momentum is what carries you through resistance. It's what turns effort into habit and habit into identity. And once something becomes your identity, belief is no longer forced, it's automatic. So stop waiting for perfect. Stop holding back until you think you're ready. You're ready the moment you start. The key is not intensity, it's consistency. Anyone can go hard for a day, anyone can push for a week, but few are willing to show up every day with discipline, with commitment, with faith in the long game. And that's why few experience real, lasting transformation. The power of belief is not about believing you'll never fail. It's about believing that no matter how many times you fall, you'll get back up and keep moving. Consistency gives you proof. Proof creates belief, and belief fuels even greater consistency. That cycle is what makes you unstoppable. So commit to progress over perfection. Commit to showing up even if it's messy, even if it's small. Because consistency, not perfection, will rewrite your story. Consistency will shape your destiny. And if you keep moving forward day after day, the life you once dreamed of won't just be possible. It will be inevitable. This is your life. The clock is ticking. The only question is, how will you be remembered? As someone who watched or someone who did? The world doesn't care about your excuses, but it does reward effort, grit, and relentless resolve. Then pause, eyes locked on the audience, so go ahead, embrace the truth. You don't need permission, you don't need a sign, you just need to work harder than ever before, and when you do, everything changes. And finally, a calm, commanding seal now get to woe our